In this video, we're going to learn how to insert what we call summary zoom slides, and this is going to be basically a slide consisting of previews of each of the other slides that we can use to navigate to basically whatever slide we want in the presentation. So let's start by selecting slide 3, and this is where we're going to be inserting it. So let's go to the Insert tab, and in the Links group, we're going to click on the Zoom drop-down menu, and we're going to choose the Summary Zoom option. Now by default, the Summary Zoom is going to be based on the sections of the presentation themselves, and it's going to actually show us slides that we can use, slides that we can show on the summary slide itself. But before I do that, let's close this and let's go to the View tab, and let's go to the Slide Sorter view. And so in this Slide Sorter view, you can see that there are no sections that have been created here, right? If I go to the normal view, same thing, there's no sections there. But by default, the sections are going to be created based on how we do this summary zoom. So again, selecting slide 3, we are going to, once again, go to the Insert tab, go to Zoom, go to Summary Zoom, and let's say that we choose 3, 6, 8, and 9, like so. And then we click on Insert. What we end up with is what we call a summary section. So it's a new slide that gets created, and this new slide again contains a preview of each of the slides that we included, but you'll also notice that there are sections that have been created. So there's a project section, right? That's just based on the name of this slide 4, or the title of slide 4 rather. There's a staff changes section, which is based on the title, staff changes. There's a milestone section, and there's a the year ahead section as well. Okay, so now that all of those sections have been created, the way that we navigate from one section to the next is basically that once we get to the end of one section, it's going to bring us back to this summary section that we see right here when we're actually running our presentation. Okay. So on slide 3, let's just call this one, let's call this summary slide topics for discussion, like so, and then just use Shift F5 like so. And so you'll see that I can navigate to this first one, which is the projects thumbnail. So let's do that. Let's navigate to projects. That'll take me to, in this case, slide 4, and then I can use page down to navigate from one slide to the next within this section. Now when I hit page down within this section and I reach the end, it's just going to take me to the beginning again. It's going to take me to this summary slide. I'll do the same thing now with staff changes, so let's go there, and that's going to take us to the second section. Okay, and then we can go ahead and use page down there as well. Now we're back again to our summary. Let's do the same thing with milestones. Okay, and page down, and then it'll take us back, and then the year ahead, page down, and then you can see thank you is supposed to be the end of the presentation. So, we shouldn't really have it be that, at the very end of the presentation it takes us back to the summary slides, so we're going to fix that now. Let's go ahead and hit the escape key to return to the normal view, and let's go to slide 3 if we're not there already. And one thing we can do really easily is see what slides are included in each of these different sections all on this one slide. So if I click on the content placeholder for this Zoom link object, then I can go ahead and go to the Zoom tab over here on the right, and you'll notice that the thumbnails are actually showing us the slides that are included now. So you can see that the year ahead should only include slide 10. It shouldn't include slide 11 because slide 11 is the one that contains the thank you, which should just be sort of separate, right? It should be after we have returned to this summary for the last time. So what we'll do in the slide navigation pane over here on the left is we'll just scroll down and we'll right click on slide 11, and we will just give it a new section. So we'll click on Add Section like so, and the section name here is going to be just whatever we want it to be. Let's say End, and then rename it that way. Okay, but we've still included those same slides as before in our Zoom summary. right? So slide 10 is still over here, but you'll see that if I go to zoom now, it's only going to include slide 10 to 10, meaning it's only going to include slide 10 in the section that's going to be navigated through, and then it will be actually taken to the final slide at the end. Okay, so let's now start the presentation from the beginning to get an idea of what's going to happen from the very beginning. So we start on the first slide. Okay, I'll use my arrow keys. So I'll use the right arrow key to get from one slide to the next, to advance by one slide, and then I'll use the left arrow key to go back one slide if I need it. But here we are on slide 2. Introductions are going to be made by these individuals, and then we use the arrow key again. Okay, so we progress to slide 3, and again, once we get to slide 3, and we use the right arrow key again, that's going to take us to projects. Keep going with the right arrow key, keep going, and then it'll take us to staff changes. Keep going, and it'll take us to milestones, and then keep going, and it'll eventually take us to the year ahead. Okay, and then once we get to our summary for the last time, then we'll hit the arrow key once more. Then we'll get to our thank you slide, because it's sort of a separate thing. And then we can go ahead and hit escape to exit our slideshow. So that's basically how we navigate, or that's how we operate this, what we call zoom object that we've added. So it allows us to zoom. It's almost like a hyperlink that allows us to zoom from one slide to the next in this sort of smooth transition that you saw me engage in.